This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by Lee Health.
Hello, fellow citizens. I'm Mayor Randy Henderson, and I'm seeking your vote to continue as your mayor. During my time as service as your mayor, I've come to appreciate the high quality of life that's offered through these kinds of developments in parks and recreation. It's important that we continue our economic development opportunities so that we can drive the economic resources, make them available to the city so that we can continue to expand our city in high quality ways. By joining our efforts together, we can move Fort Myers to the highest quality city possible. I hope you will support me on September the 12th, 2017. This campaign message is approved by the Randy Henderson Campaign for Mayor, and you can find out more information at www.randyhendersonformayor.com. Please vote for me.
Southwest Florida, you're looking live at the Mount Hermon Ministries Community Fun Day. We're going to have, at the crest of this, we should have about 1,000 people out here. Last year was over 700 people. And it is an event that's community-oriented, all free for the children and the adults, including health care tips. All of that's taking place. And when you're talking about community, something this important always draws out our community leaders, and our biggest community leader here in Fort Myers is, of course, the mayor of Fort Myers. He's right here in the community, right here in Dunbar, to witness this great event. How you been enjoying yourself out here so far, Mr. Mayor?
I've been enjoying it, Lee, and it's beautiful, and I think you're already over 1,000.
Right. I saw that one of the leaders in this church, Cheryl Glover, came over and gave you a big hug.
Yeah, she did, and I told her not to rush it.
Mr. Mayor, you always find your way to get out and be amongst the people as a natural progression. It's like natural for you. Talk about that.
Public service and this work is wholly about people. I mean, it's all around people, and if you choose to do this work, you do it for that reason, because you love people and you want to be around them.
Talk about the misconception we have here. Right now, everything is safe. We're right here in the heart of Dunbar, and this is generally the norm. Talk about it's a misconception. There's a crime is always going on in this area, right?
Well, it is a misconception, and the best message I can give citizens everywhere is that Fort Myers is a safe city. It's a very safe city. It's not a perfect city, and crime is everywhere. And Chief Derek Diggs is doing an outstanding job in keeping our citizens safe.
Excellent. Mr. Mayor, you are now in the heart of the campaign to be reelected for a third term, it would be.
Yeah.
And you also had some background before then as a sitting city councilman. You have an impressive resume. Please indulge us a bit about your background as a public servant, including the time you spent as a city councilman. Let's get to know the mayor.
Well, my background as a public servant, Lee, stems from a heartfelt desire to make things better. When I was a little boy, I had great pleasure in when my mother would come home from work and I was taking care of my younger siblings, that she would be pleased with that. Well, public service is similar in the sense that when you can look around and see through the efforts of your work and working with colleagues on council that your city is better for it, that's very gratifying, and it stems from a great desire to make things better.
The process of running for re-election, do you welcome that process, or is it a burden?
Well, make no mistake about it. Campaigning is very, very hard work. But I respect this public work enough to go work hard, and you really need to do that, and I'm willing to do it, and I'm going to outwork those competitors, and I love doing this work. I want to be your mayor and everybody's mayor, and I'm going to continue to pour myself into it.
Okay. Now we're in the primaries. People can go out and vote in the primaries. They have the opportunity to do absentee as well as vote on election day. Tell us the different ways you can vote.
One of the great things about Fort Myers election process is you have multiple ways to participate in the election process and the democratic process. You can vote by mail. You can vote early, the week leading up to the primaries, and you can show up the day of election and vote in that way. So you have multiple ways to vote.
People want to read and learn more about your platform as well. They can go to your website. What's that?
You go to my website at www.randyhendersonformayor.com, and there you will see the reasons why I believe that I am the best person to serve as mayor. I have an extensive background in the finance and real estate and things that are relevant for participating in the public process.
If we had the pleasure of going into your office and sitting in there and seeing your list of things to do, sitting on that desk like me, old business guy, got to have a list of priorities, Mr. Mayor. Talk about your top 3 that's on that list right now that you're looking to you're looking to draw a line through saying accomplished.
Well, first, my office is on loan to me, and I share it with anyone who will come and see me, and I invite everybody to see me. But the list of accomplishments is improvements, of course. High on the list is improvements in public safety, first responders, law enforcement. We have a way forward. I am so proud of Chief Diggs. I'm so proud of our city manager and Grant Alley, our city attorney, who aided in that process of finding a way to do better. And we're there. Next, economic development is always going to be high on my list because economic development inures to everyone's specific benefit. It brings our city forward in modern ways, infrastructure, curb appeal, walkability, bikeability, all of those things. It's very gratifying.
How does one like a sitting mayor influence job creation?
Well, I think we have to organize the city in a way that it's attractive and that it attracts investment and people who want to come here and live here, work here, and play here, and that contributes to an overall better city. I want to be there. I want to participate. I want some of what Fort Myers offers. I think so call me the biggest cheerleader in the town. I think that's important that we be viewed in a positive way.
There's a lot of discussion about the Midtown development, all of the housing that's going to come in retail space. Are we going to still, Fort Myers, going to have affordable housing in the area as well, along with that whole build-out plan?
Yes, indeed we are. It's one of the more exciting opportunities that we've seen since the redevelopment and the modernization of the River District. And Andres Dorney, our urban planner, said it would go out through the city like a spider web. The city of Fort Myers leads this region in affordable housing and modern, new, innovative housing, and we've got more coming, and we will do an outstanding job. And what we want to do is inspire other cities to follow our model. We have a good model. We're going to expand that in Midtown and Gardner's Park and beyond. The citizens have a lot to look forward to in that regard.
Sitting out here right now, you see, almost 1,000 people here in Dunbar. How comfortable are you out here in Dunbar, moving around?
One of the happy things about my work, Lee, is the minority community, all minority citizens embrace me, and I make sure they do because I embrace them first, and I love that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, I've interviewed you many times over the years. I don't know if you realize I listen to everything you say. But one time I interviewed you, it was a non-political year. You weren't running for re-election. But you did tell me that, I said, hey, how would you feel to be elected and not, gain the majority of the minority vote? You say you wouldn't want to be mayor if you didn't get the votes of the minority community.
It's on me, Lee. It is on me to earn that, and I'm comfortable with that. I challenge citizens to try to outlove me, because at the end of the day, it starts with a respect and a desire to embrace the community. And if you can't do that, if that's not in your heart, you shouldn't be in public service. It's in me, and I love the fact that the minority community embraces me.
One of the most popular corridors in the city of Fort Myers is the Martin Luther King Boulevard right here. There's always been talk about various ways of developing the boulevard to make it be attractive and also be in a place that people can drive through and feel like, hey, we're part of what's going on in the city of Fort Myers. What do you see happening with Martin Luther King Boulevard, say, in the next 5 years?
Sitting here on MLK this morning and looking out across it, it's inspiring because the future of MLK is so bright. And let me just rattle off a few accomplishments. Clementi Park is one of the most fabulous parks in the not only the city of Fort Myers but the region. You've got McCullum Hall that's on the cusp of springing forward in ways that the River District has sprung forward. You've got economic development opportunity down the MLK corridor that's being planned right now that's going to bring life and vitality and economic prosperity to the east side of Fort Myers. And we're dialing this in with Palm Beach Boulevard and Cleveland Avenue, all programmed improvements that's going to come forward in the next 48 months.
Speak to the contaminated soil that was discovered in the city of Fort Myers in the Dunbar community and what you have done as mayor already to start to rectify that situation.
There's a couple of things I want to share that's very encouraging. South Street is going, we're waiting for the facts and details so the council knows what we have. Once we understand what the facts and details are, we will take appropriate action to solve that. But I want to add that movement is afoot, and additional exciting news is that we're going to remove junkyards that are in inappropriate places in the Dunbar community. Henderson Street is an example of that. We're working with that owner to acquire that property and plan and program its future other than a junkyard. So we got South Street we're working on. Once we have data, once we know what we're dealing with there, we've already secured the property. We're gathering information. We've instructed the city manager to solve the problem, and we're going to solve the problem. But we're not stopping there. We got other junkyards we want to deal with that we believe should be removed.
So it's fair to say that you are anti-junkyards in Dunbar.
Well, I'm anti-junkyards in neighborhoods.
Okay.
Hey, cities have to have places to put debris and trash, and we're working on a policy that I think is going to make that better. They don't need to be in neighborhoods, and they've evolved that way over many, many decades, but this council is solving that problem.
Excellent. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have more with the mayor of Fort Myers, Randy Henderson, right here in the community. We'll take a shot at the community again, right here at Mount Hermon Ministries, Community Fun Day, book bag giveaways, school supplies for the children, free everything, bounce houses, health education by Lee Health, all that's taking place. And our good mayor is right here in the community. We'll be right back.
Hello, fellow citizens. I'm Mayor Randy Henderson, and I'm seeking your vote to continue as your mayor. During my time as service as your mayor, I've come to appreciate the high quality of life that's offered through these kinds of developments in parks and recreation. It's important that we continue our economic development opportunities so that we can drive the economic resources, make them available to the city so that we can continue to expand our city in high quality ways. By joining our efforts together, we can move Fort Myers to the highest quality city possible. I hope you will support me on September the 12th, 2017. This campaign message is approved by the Randy Henderson Campaign for Mayor, and you can find out more information at www.randyhendersonformayor.com. Please vote for me.
You're looking live at gift baskets and all types of giveaways that are taking place here for the adults and the children here at Mount Hermon Ministries Community Fun Day, here in the heart of Fort Myers in the Dunbar community, nestled at the apex of the city of Fort Myers, which is under the leadership of this man here in the off-pink shirt, the mayor of our fine city, Randy Henderson. I'm Lee Pitts, the host of Lee Pitts Live, now in our 26th year on the air. I've done a lot of interviews over the years and have talked to the mayor numerous times, and I've always found him to be a stand-up gentleman who's always trying to do the best for the community. Nobody is perfect, and neither am I. But he's done a great job, and he's, in my view, the best mayor we've had here in the city of Fort Myers since I've been around for 26 years. Let's get started. Mr. Mayor, you're looking at these children. I notice when you look at these children and you look at what's happening in your city, it brings a special smile to your face.
Well, a city that has children like we have should be celebrated and rejoiced. I'm a father of 3. It brings back memories of when I was raising them when they were this age and the fun that we had going to events just like this. Every mayor wants this going on in this city.
Mr. Mayor, in our last segment, we got a chance to talk a bit about economic development, job creation. You made it clear that you don't think junkyards should be in neighborhoods. They got to exist somewhere, but not necessarily in residential neighborhoods like they do. Something that's near and dear to me, I like talking about, is the River District. Oftentimes people see the River District is for, especially a lot of people in this community might see the River District and say, that's what they're taking care of, the River District downtown.
Yeah.
They're spending all the money downtown. It looks so great. The River District is something that we all can be proud of as a part of the city of Fort Myers. What are your most proud accomplishments on the River District?
Well, what I like to do is share Councilman Flanders' remarks about the River District. He's got it dead right. He says the River District is everybody's living room. Everybody, every citizen in Fort Myers, it's their living room, and we want people to come and enjoy that. Our biggest accomplishment there was putting in infrastructure. We started there with consultants that were Andres Duane, who was one of the most renowned consultants in urban planning in America, and he said if you start here, it will go throughout your entire city like a spider web. And he said you got a good starting place. And so our biggest accomplishment there was investing approximately $50 million in public infrastructure, which we're doing all over the city. which was the impetus for about $650 million of private investing, and that's raised all ships.
And that brings in jobs, and that brings in affordable housing as well. Now, tell me this. The police department, I noticed, recently got approved for a substantial increase in their budget.
Yes.
That's all going to go, a lot of it will go towards technology and different things to make it even safer around here and downtown. What are some things that we're going to expect the police department to do with that increased budget?
Well, the council has been laser focused on that. We're post-recession now. We have more financial resources. We have some grant money coming to us from the state of Florida. I think about $320,000 also to help with that effort. We're adding commissioned officers to the staff. I want to say 18 to 22 more, so it's a human capital, also technology capital. And so we're expanding and we're emerging as a world-class law enforcement agency under the leadership of Chief Diggs.
What's your thoughts so far on our city manager, Saeed Qasimi?
Saeed Qasimi is one of the hardest working men you'll ever know. He is largely responsible for and accountable for all the infrastructure improvements that have been made in the city over the last 15, 20 years. He's a professional engineer. He's doing a great job as city manager, and we respect him.
Fowler Street, sitting right there in the heart of Fort Myers, it seems to be going on a renaissance. What's on tap for Fowler Street?
New improvements in the Fowler Street corridor will include infrastructure upgrades as the Midtown development plan comes to fruition. You will see Fowler Street emerge, as well as you will see Evans emerge in those north-south corridors in the next decade as modernized, new curb appeal, new street appearances that will be attractive to investors. And I think the decade ahead is very positive for those corridors.
When we talk about a decade ahead and infrastructure, things that have been put in place, how important is it to the citizens to realize that it's important to keep consistency in public policy, like the mayor and different people in place who have started this process and understand the nuances of making it come to fruition?
One of the challenges, great challenges in public service work is that it takes so much time to get things accomplished. And when you have the momentum in place and you have the plan and the programming, it can be very disruptive if you have changes in political leadership. But that is the democratic process. It's wholly up to me and those who are seeking re-election to earn re-election. So that we continue that momentum. I think that's certainly a part of our strategy is that we've been around a long time. We want to continue to do the work. And it's really important to keep that momentum going because we take a few steps back. We're not interested in going back. We want to go forward.
That's right. I want to stay big picture here on downtown. I'm constantly going downtown. I read different things. Now, Harborside is going to expand. There's going to be a new hotel downtown. There's going to be a restaurant right there at the pier next to that boat, right? Go ahead and elaborate on those three pieces.
Arguably one of the longest term projects that we've been faced with over, I would say, a 3 or 4 decade, probably 4 decade process. We have come to agreement with Marriott Flag Hotel, the Signature Series. It's called Illuminous. It's sponsored out of Tampa by Joe Collier and his development team. They own it, operate it, and manage it. They're going to expand and operate Harborside. Harborside is going to get a $9 million facelift thanks to the county and the city of Fort Myers who are combining efforts at $4.5 million each to modernize and bring that forward. So it is the expectation. First, let's celebrate that after 3 or 4 decades, we finally have landed on something we believe will be an economic generator. There's a lot of excitement around it. I think we've got it more right than wrong, and it's going to be a lot of gratification in watching it unfold.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it's been a pleasure having you come here and join us in the community. I know you want to get out and shake some more hands, and we're going to get to some more interviews, and good luck in your campaign.
Lee, thank you so much. This is a coral color shirt.
Hey, by the way, say something. Take 30 seconds and ask for the vote. Ask for the vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be your mayor. Please vote for me. I'll be the best mayor you ever had. Thank you.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.